For today's video, we're not going to do a gameplay, we're not going to do a debut, although that's going to be coming on the channel pretty soon, especially with the new cards that are dropping next week. And since we're talking about them, you know, the feature program is going to come out next week. 30 teams, 30 cards, you know, for the All-Star game. And then obviously we're going to get cards from the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game next week. So a lot of content is going to be dropping on the game. This team you're seeing right here is going to look a whole lot different next week. But anyways, for today's video, what I wanted to do is predict all 30 teams' diamond cards for the All-Star program. Now, some teams are going to be easy, like the Orioles and, you know, the Royals and the Nationals and the A's, while other teams like the Giants, the Dodgers, the Angels, the Yankees, the Red Sox have more than one All-Star representative. So it's going to be very, very tough. But for like I said, for today's video, we're going to predict all 30 cards for the feature program next week. So let's just get it going. We'll start off with the Baltimore Orioles. Now this one's pretty much obvious. Their only All-Star in this one is Jorge Lopez, which is very interesting to put in, because the reason why I say it's interesting, he just got a Player of the Month card last month for the month of June. So I wonder what they're going to do to make it, to juice up his card, because he's the only All-Star. So I wonder what they're going to do. Either way, he's going to be absolutely lights out for your bullpen. Can't go wrong with using this one or the All-Star card. So yeah, Jorge Lopez, I wonder what they're going to do with this card for the feature program for the Orioles. Now the Red Sox. Now this one is interesting because they have more than one representative in the All-Star game. Rafi Devers, Xander Bogaerts, and JD Martinez. I don't think it's going to be Devers just because he just got the Player of the Month Lightning card back in June. So I don't think it's going to be him. I don't think it's going to be JD Martinez just because, you know, I mean, there's going to be a lot of outfielders and he would be pretty good. It's just his defense is going to be really, really bad. So I don't think it's going to be him. Who I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be Xander Bogaerts. However, they did release a 96 Bogaerts last week, so I'm not sure what they're going to do. They could give it to JD Martinez, but I think it's going to be Bogaerts. It's just, I wonder what they're going to do to his All-Star card. If they're going to make, like this, but maybe juice it up a little bit. It'll be very interesting to see what they do for the feature program for the Red Sox, but I'm going with Xander Bogaerts. Now we get to the Yankees, and they have 6 All-Star representatives. Aaron Judge, Garrett Cole, Nestor Cortez, Clay Holmes, Giancarlo Stanton, and Jose Trevino. This one is going to be tough because, there's 6 guys that could get the All-Star card for the feature program. I think Aaron Judge, I'm probably going to cross him off because I feel like he's going to get a 99 for the All-Star game. Garrett Cole, I feel like he might get a 99 down the road, whether it's for the Yankees or the Astros. Clay Holmes, he just got that Player of the Month card last month, so I don't think it's going to be him. Trevino, that would be very interesting. He does have that 90 Topps Now card, so I wonder if, they're probably going to boost up his contact and maybe boost up his power a little bit. And then Giancarlo, I feel like he might get a 99 down the stretch too. So that leads out Nestor Cortez, so I feel like Nasty Nestor could get one. Almost said something very, very off, by the way. I think it's going to be Nestor for the Yankees. The Rays, it's pretty obvious it's going to be Shane McClanahan. He's their only All-Star for Tampa. So that's a lock. Then we get to the Blue Jays next. We got Alek Manoah, Vlad Jr., Alejandro Kirk, and George Springer. Now, I don't think it's going to be Springer just because he just got the 96 prime card from the BR program last season. So I don't think it's going to be him. I don't think it's going to be Manoah. And I don't think it's going to be Vlad, just because I feel like they might give Vlad a flashback from last year because he won the All-Star Game MVP. So I'm going with Alejandro Kirk for this one. I feel like Kirk, he'd be someone that could be really, really fun to use. His contact against righties is probably going to be over 100. Maybe his contact against lefties over 100 too. His power, I think they're going to, boost it up a little bit, juice it up. So I'm going with Alejandro Kirk for this one. All right, we got the White Sox next. Now we're moving into the AL Central. We got Dylan Cease and Tim Anderson. Dylan Cease would be interesting just because, I feel like his case for not to be over 100 because I think he has, like the second most strikeouts in the AL this year, behind Shane McClanahan. So that'll be interesting. They can go with Dylan Cease. Tim Anderson, he would be another one. He'd be really good against lefties just because, like, on his live series, he has, like, max contact against left-handed pitching, and his power probably be, like, in the 90 plateau, maybe over 100. I wonder if they're going to give it to Tim Anderson, how they're going to boost up his stats against righties. So if I were to pick one, I'm going to go with Tim Anderson over Dylan Cease. Would not be surprised to go with Dylan Cease instead. But I'm going with Tim Anderson. The Guardians, we got Clase, J-Ram, and Jimenez. I'm pretty much going with Jose Ramirez just because, like, he got a card last year, and I feel like his swing, I haven't used him a lot, but, last year I did really well with him. So I'm going with J-Ram. Clase would be pretty interesting because, would it remind me of his finest card from last year? And if they do give it to Jimenez, they'll probably boost up his stats, like, they would boost up his stats like he on his Tops Now card, but obviously boost him up like even better. But I'm going with J-Ram as my lock for the Guardians. The Tigers, we got Gregory Soto and Miguel Cabrera. I'm going to go with Miguel Cabrera. I think a Miguel Cabrera card would be pretty nice. He was one of my favorite hitters to use last year. Although Gregory Soto last year as well was good for me in my bullpen. So either one would not be that bad, but I'm going to go with Miguel Cabrera. Royals, I think it's pretty obvious. It's going to be Andrew Benintendi. And speaking of the Royals, just a big yikes. All I'm going to say on that, just a big yikes. Next up, we got the Twins. It's going to be Byron Buxton. He's going to be absolutely filthy. It's just, I hope that if I use Buxton, I hope I can do better with him. Because when I used that Face the Franchise card, I don't know what it was. I could not hit with this card in ranked to save myself. I was really bad. I went like 2 for 20 with OPS of 255. So I hope that, when I use the All-Star card, I do so much better with him. Next up, we got the Astros. Yordan, JV, Kyle Tucker, Jose Altuve, and Framber Valdez were the All-Stars. I don't think it's Yordan because he just got that 97 Player of the Month card, so it's not going to be him. I don't think it's going to be Verlander because I think he's going to get a 99 down the road. It could be Kyle Tucker. He would be really good, especially with the defense. It's probably going to be his Face the Franchise card, but just better, obviously. I don't think it's going to be Altuve just because we got the Player of the Month back in May. And I don't think it's going to be Valdez, although he would be very interesting because he has a nice pit selection. But I'm going to go with Kyle Tucker as my lock for the Astros. I feel like his All-Star card would be really good. And obviously I did well with him with his Face of the Franchise. So I think I'm going to go with Kyle Tucker as the lock for the Astros. Now this one is interesting because we got the Angels up next. We got Ohtani and Trout. They're two All-Star representatives who are also two of the best players in the game right now. And hold on, before I even go on that, they nerfed Mike Trout again. This is the 5th time that they've done this. He is literally unusable against right-handed pitching in ranked in Diamond Dynasty. When you're facing a righty, especially on Hall of Fame, yeah, that's not really a good sign. He's still going to be good against lefties, but against righties, oh man, he is going to be unusable. But anyways, obviously these two are the representatives for the Angels, and they can go with either one on this one. I think everyone would be pleased either way. If I were to pick one, though, give me an All-Star Mike Trout. Because I think Ohtani is going to get that 99 Takashi card down the road. At least that's what I'm thinking. Either way, they're not going to be... there's no wrong choice for this one. But I'm going with Mike Trout for this. Just because, I feel like he's going to be absolutely filthy. Look, as long as they don't mess up his contact against righties if they go this route, he's going to be probably endgame, you could argue. He's going to be pretty much unstoppable. If he, gets the All-Star card and they boost up his attributes against righties. He's going to be nasty. The A's, this one's going to be obvious. It's going to be Paul Blackburn. This card could be low-key good. He's got the pit selection you're looking for. The sinker cutter, circle change, 12-6 four-seam. This card could be very sneaky good for the A's for that feature program. So keep an eye out for that. Next up, we got the Mariners. It's going to be J-Rod. He is going to be in the home run derby, so I wonder what they're going to do with Julio Rodriguez. He's probably going to get 2 cards if he does well in the home run derby. His All-Star card is going to be really interesting. The Rangers, It's either Corey Seager or Martin Perez. I hope it's Corey Seager, just because, you know, obviously this year I've done well with Seager, and in the past I've done really well with Corey Seager cards, whether it was that World Series card I got in 2020. We don't talk about what I did with Seager last year. That was just a farce, okay? But, you know, it's either him or Martin Perez. I hope it's Seager. They could give it to Martin Perez. It'll probably be like a little bit more juiced up, like stats on his All-Star card. But I'm going with Corey Seager as the lock for the Rangers. Now we move on to the National League. We got the Braves first up, and their All-Stars are Acuna, Max Fried, Dansby Swanson, Travis d'Arnaud, and William Contreras. Now, I don't think it's going to be Acuna. They could give it to Max Fried. Let's see. d'Arnaud would be another good one, like a good hitting catcher. Dansby, he'd be like a really glitchy shortstop. William Contreras, another good catcher. If I were to pick one to be a lock, I would have to go with... I'm going to go on a limb. Give me Dansby Swanson. His stats would be something like this, but more like, you know, obviously juiced up. So I'm going with Dansby Swanson for my lock as the Braves. The Marlins, I mean, it has to be Sandy. It has to be Sandy Alcantara. I feel like this card would be literally Jacob deGrom-esque from last year, just because he's going to have outlier on that sinker, and his hits per nine is going to be through the roof. So I think it's going to be it's going to be Sandy for the Marlins. That's my lock. The Mets. Now this one, Pete Alonso, Edwin Diaz, Starling Marte, and Jeff McNeil. I think Alonso's going to get a card for the Home Run Derby, so that's going to take him out. Give me Starling Marte. I think Marte could be really, really glitchy. Oh, clicked on Lindor by mistake. I think Marte would be really glitchy. Jeff McNeil would be too. But I'm going with Starling Marte as my lock. His finest card last year, really underrated. I don't really think like a lot of people use that card, but he was really, really good. So I'm going with Starling Marte for the Mets lock. The Phillies, we got Bryce Harper, and we got Kyle Schwarber. I think it's going to be Harper. I don't think it's going to be Schwarber. Just got a Player of the Month card last month, so I don't think it's going to be him. So I guess Bryce Harper is going to be the lock for the Phillies. Nationals is going to be Juan Soto. He's going to be absolutely glitched out. He's going to be probably on my bench again. Maybe if the numbers are right, maybe he can start in right field for me. Well, we'll see. The Cubs, we got Wilson Contreras and Ian Happ. Either one of them would not be that bad. I'm going to go with Ian Happ. I feel like his swing would be glitchy. The Reds, it's going to be Luis Castillo, although Brandon Drury should have been an all-star, how I see it. I think Drury is having himself a nice season. But, you know, obviously they're going to go with Luis Castillo. So, I mean, it's going to be Castillo for the Reds. The Brewers, it's either Burns or Hader. They went with Hader last year. Corbin Burns, he'd be really disgusting. He would have outlier on that sinker. Either one of them would, you know, not be a bad pick. If I were to pick one, though, give me Corbin Burns. Pirates, going to be David Bednar. He's the only all-star representative for the Pirates. The Cardinals, I mean, you got, what? Goldschmidt, Arenado, Helsley, and Pujols. Now, Pujols is going to be in the Home Run Derby, so I wonder what they're going to do with him. They could give it to him. They could give it to Helsley. They can give it to Nolan or Goldschmidt. Nolan would be really interesting. Goldschmidt's going to get like a 99 down the stretch, whether it's a finest card or a flashback. So I'm going with Arenado as my lock for the Cardinals. Diamondbacks is going to be Joe Mantiply. I mean, he's got sinker, curveball, circle change. He could be really interesting. The Rockies is going to be C.J. Cron, another good first baseman. The Dodgers, you got Mookie, you got Kershaw, you got Turner. You got, who else? Was there another one? And Tony Gonsolin. I don't think it's going to be Mookie, just because he has that 95, and obviously he's going to get a 99 down the road. I don't think it's going to be Kershaw. I don't think it's going to be Trey Turner, although that's a good shot. Although, you know, again, if they release a 98 Trey Turner from last year, he's going to be absolutely on my team, because he was one of my favorite cards to use last year. But I think it's going to be Tony Gonsolin. I mean, he's like, what, 11-0? And I don't think he's going to get like a higher tier diamond the rest of the year unless they give him a finest card. So I think I'm going with Tony Gonsolin. I think the Catman's going to get it. So that's my Dodger pick. Padres, we got Manny Machado and Joe Musgrove. I don't think it's going to be Musgrove because he just got that Tops Now card for the City Connect for the Padres. So I'm going with Manny Machado. I think Machado is going to get the card for the Padres. And then last but not least, we got the Giants. We got Jock and Rodon. Jock would be very interesting because he would literally absolutely smash righties. But I wonder what his numbers are going to be against lefties. But I think I'm going with Carlos Rodon. I think, you know, last year he got that card for the White Sox. I think I'm going with Rodon for my Giants pick. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about in this video. Just going through all 30 teams, choosing who's going to get the feature card for the All-Star game, or for the All-Star program next week on Monday. And of course, whatchamacallit, we got the calendar coming up here. Of course, the Home Run Derby, we're going to get content right after it ends. And then the All-Star game on Tuesday, we're going to get, you know, All-Star cards for the All-Star program, or for the All-Star game, I should say. So, you know, the first 2 days of the week next week, a lot of content's going to be dropping. And, you know, I'm definitely going to be making videos on that. But I think I'm going to wrap it up here. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you are new. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.